What's up guys, it's Cobalt here and welcome back to another video. Today I am talking about some new G7 LPS leaks. They're not leaks, these are completely official, and if you are actively checking the Littlest Pet Shop Instagram page and like their stories and stuff, you probably have seen this already, but since I have a little bit more insight, I figured I should talk about it. I know in my video recently talking about the AI situation and issues with that, I was uncertain if I wanted to keep making videos like this, but I've decided that ultimately I really do like making these sort of like news and updates videos and informing you guys on what's happening in the Littlest Pet Shop world, because a lot of you in my comments have expressed that you enjoy watching these videos and that you find them helpful and stuff like that. Obviously, I do have my own opinions about everything that I talk about, but I like to present my information in a way that can still allow you to form an unbiased opinion, because I think having individuality and critical thinking are very important. But anyways, here is the image that I am going to be talking about. So there's really only two new Littlest Pet Shops here that are being revealed, but since I was at Toy Fair earlier this year, I know a little bit more about what's going on here than probably the average person just seeing this. If you haven't watched the video that I made after Toy Fair, I would also suggest going to watch that, because I talk a little bit more about what the upcoming wave of Littlest Pet Shop is going to be like, and I show a couple more pets that were actually revealed as well. But this is kind of like a sub-series that's being released, so it is not replacing any other current line of LPS. It's its own sort of separate thing that's obviously being geared towards a little bit of a different audience, because as you can see by what's in the background, this is part of a collaboration that a YouTuber called Like Nastya is doing with Littlest Pet Shop. She is a child influencer. Obviously, there's a lot of discourse that you can have with that and, you know, like the parents and whatnot, but I'm not going to be getting into that, because at the end of the day, it is really cool that somebody so young is able to have like such a successful career already. That's literally all I'm going to say. Obviously, I do have issues with like child influencers and whatnot, but that's literally not important. Live your life, whatever. But essentially, as part of her collaboration with Littlest Pet Shop, she is getting to design her own wave of blind boxes. Again, this is going to be completely separate than the typical wave. It's not going to be replacing the Wave 6 blind boxes. It is a separate line. I believe it will still have 18 pets just like the other ones, and they are all kind of in like a different style than what you would usually see, which I'm going to talk a little bit more about when we zoom in on these two pets. But you can already see their color palettes are quite different than any other Littlest Pet Shops we've seen so far. Very pastel, definitely very girly, but let's talk about the dog first. So here's the dog. Looking at the images of these two pets, you can also see the accessory that they're going to be coming with in the blind boxes. It's going to be the usual kind of thing. 18 pets, each pet in the blind box comes with their own little accessory, so nothing is really changing there. Also, from what I was told at Toy Fair, these two specific LPS here were kind of like designed off of her pets, so they're kind of like the mascot for, again, this little subsection of the wave. So this one is on a King Charles Spaniel base. I think she is really cute. Something that you will notice with all these Littlest Pet Shops, aside from the fact that they all have very pastel colors and their color palettes are pretty much like different shades of pink, different shades of purple, and then like some teal and white mixed in there as well. But instead of having black for their pupils and the eye lines, it is actually a very dark purple, which I think is really, really cool. That definitely adds to the pastel vibe of these characters. And again, it's completely different than anything we've ever seen in Littlest Pet Shop so far. I believe there are actually a couple G2 pets that have like a really deep purple for their eyes, or at least their eyeliner. But again, I think this is cool, and it is going to be consistent with all of the pets in this blind box series. Again, really do love this base. Glad we're seeing that returning in some kind of way. For all of the other pets that I did see in this line at Toy Fair, I did really like all of the base choices that were being used here. And I also do really love the brown eyes. Always love a pet with brown eyes, and I think they look pretty good, at least in this image. As far as I know, these are not prototypes. I think these are most likely going to be exactly how the officially released pets look. I will say though that the paint does appear to be a little bit shiny, and I'm guessing that's because all of what I'm seeing here is actually painted onto the plastic, so I really don't know like what the base plastic color would be on this specific dog. But then moving on, we have the Scottish Fold Cat. So again, similar deal. You can see this one is more purple, the other one I feel like was more pink, and then this one does have a little bit of the teal in there. The weird stuff on the top of its head underneath the accessory looks like glue tack or something holding the accessory on, so we might run into more issues with the accessories not actually fitting the pets they're meant to be with. Whatever. This one comes with a plastic bow, and then again, she actually does have purple eyes, but you can see the pupils and the eyelashes are once again that really nice deep purple. I think this one is really cute. I actually really love the way that like the stripes are designed on her. I would love to see that again on like a different LPS, obviously with different colors, and like orange. That would look really cool too. But yeah, I do really like this design. I think she is really cute, and I'm not noticing it in either of these two pets. I don't think. It's hard to say from these images because they are a little bit lower resolution, but what I do remember from seeing some of them at Toy Fair is that some of them did have that like pearlescent finish that some of the previous like metallic pets have had in some of the painted details. Like this LPS here, I don't even know if you can see on camera. This one does have kind of like that sparkly pearlescent plastic, and some of these pets did have that in either the plastic or again the paint, whether that was like the entire pet or just some little details that they had. But yeah, so those are the two new pets that I wanted to talk about. Since I haven't really seen anybody else talking about them, I figure that people probably missed it. Again, feel free to leave me some feedback down below if you guys still like watching videos like this, and I guess if any of you guys are like young enough to know about this influencer, like let me know what your thoughts about her and this collaboration are. Obviously she's like 12 or something. I don't know how old she is, but like I have no business looking at her content, so I'm not going to. But if you would like to share some insight, go ahead and do so down below in the comments. But again, I'm not gonna be talking about like the whole child influencer discourse because it literally does not matter in this situation. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!